All right. Well, hey, Coaches Up for Change. This is our ED call, our leadership call that we do once a month. And really, this call is just to connect. I think it's so important, especially during times like now where things are a little bit different in our business. Emotions can run high. Just important to connect and make sure that we're all in this together, right? And that we're all on the same page, all informed. And I kind of thought I was trying to think about this and what did we want to do today? And the title I thought of was Permission to Feel. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we get started, you might recognize a new face on here because we are excited about a new executive director on our team. So I'm going to let her coach, Julie Apple, introduce.
Hey, you guys. Yes. So we're all shouting for joy for you, Lori. She can share her journey, but what's been so neat is that she started coaching about a year ago. And Susan Palace actually messaged me and asked me about a new team member as a ED. And I told her, I said, what's been fun for us and coaching you, Lori, is you knew what you wanted from the start, and we've just kind of gradually been working on it one step at a time and make it doable with like your full-time. She works a full-time job and has two boys that are high school, college, doing college trips during the weekend. So she's made this work with everything in her full world. So we'd love to hear what you want to share, Lori. We're just proud of you.
Thank you, Julie. You're going to get me all choked up. It's been quite the journey this past year, I have to say. And coming into it, I can't even believe that a year has gone by already. But I knew, I guess you're right. I knew what I wanted, and I knew how passionate I was about this program and how passionate I was to share it with so many people. And I think that just comes naturally then to allow for it to grow, right? I think it just comes out of us. It definitely comes out of me. I see that I get so excited when I'm talking about it to whoever I can possibly share it with. So that's been my whole method all year. And I think it helped me too with doing all of the things. And you guys have taught me that all year long of to do all the things, to be as present as possible. I've been on every single team time that I could possibly be on, unless I have a conflict, which I very rarely have had in the course of the year. Maybe I've missed twice. Because I was away, and then I make sure to watch the recordings. I've never missed a recording. And I try to participate in every possible boot camp that's out there, any training that's out there, any leadership training I can sign up for to participate in, the long ones that we have on the weekends. So there hasn't been anything that I even think that I've missed along the year. And I've put that time in to really learn the process and learn how to grow with it, and I think every single part of the process just fell into place throughout the year. And I just was patient with it. I let it just happen naturally and organically throughout the year, is I think what ended up leading me here. And I think back to even when I was in Dallas, and I was in one of the, my first breakout session, and I learned there just about what do you really want? And really, we always talk about what we want and what our why is. And I learned that there, even of what my why is and how far I wanted to take this, and how to dream, and what I wanted to get out of it. So that really, even set the tone for me from Dallas. And I'm so grateful, Dee, that I was able to go to Dallas, and I learned so much from that. It was so worth it to do that, and just have learned again through attending all of these trainings and all of the events that I've gone to. Convention was game changing also, and learning everything that I learned there. So I've just been planting my seeds all year, and that was one of my mottos, is that I'm going to keep sprinkling and sprinkling and sprinkling seeds absolutely everywhere. And my motto is that I'm just waiting for my trees to start growing. And little by little, the trees started growing as we expected that they would, And it's so funny because I just was on a trip this weekend, spent countless hours in the car. Oh my goodness. We went all the way down south from Pennsylvania. and did some college tours and spent the whole day yesterday, I think 13 hours in the car driving home. So I'm a little brain dead today, but I sat in the car and I'm going to make this a little bit more formalized, but I'll share it with all of you, that I made a tree. I actually just sketched out a tree, and it made me really realize. I went through my entire client list that I have right now, and I went with who my first client was and the branch that started from that very first client and all of the leaves that then are off of that, that branch. So I have a very heavy branch in one area that really built off of the other. And it's really quite amazing to see that, to see where it's all grown from, that it's that ripple effect of one person seeing, the next person seeing it and motivating the next person, and then getting, somebody else, his whole family involved, and where that all sprouted. So it's really neat to see. And then I can see, other parts of my tree that aren't growing as much, and where I need to maybe place more emphasis and some more work on it. So it really helps solidify it in my mind, watching that tree grow. So it's been an exciting year, and I'll just say I thank all of you from continuing to learn from all of you, and learn from all of the social media pieces that have been, going forward. And that's definitely an area of growth that I still need to work on. It's something that I recognize I don't always have as much time for, with my full-time job, and then supporting all of my clients takes a lot of the time. And that's a piece of it that I still need to really work and strategize with. So I think I'll continue to have more growth based on all of that as well. So thank you for letting me share. Be a part.
I love that, Lori. Congratulations to you and to Julie, who has mentored you so well. And I just put Lori on the spot. She knew she was going to share tonight, and I had just given her the highlights of what to share on. And then I said, hey, like, it's in 10 minutes, but could you do the same on the ED call? So you pulled it out. But Lori was on one of our synergy groups. She had signed up as, I think a senior coach, and was in our synergy group. And her energy fed us. And I hope that by listening to her, it reminds us of what we're doing, what we're offering. You've got a terrific transformation story. But what I really admired you and how you've grown your business is really social media has just been a small piece of it. Yours has been primarily through enthusiasm and sharing and passion and whatnot, and patience. We went through a season where people could grow to ED right away, but growing in a year is a phenomenal accomplishment. And we don't want to miss that. We don't want to miss that. I think in this season, we can get so impatient, but that's nothing I've ever sensed from you. So just thank you. Thank you for what you've done for our team as well. So that's exciting. And we do want to celebrate more, as an organization. Like, we do this call for you, like, to celebrate. You guys are, you've shown your commitment, your investment, right? Like, this is not a hobby for you guys, right? Like, it's obvious that you consider this a business, a career, and you invest your time in learning, you invest your time in others, and that does not go unnoticed. Right. We want you to know that. And we want to celebrate more. So I'm going to let Meg share for a minute. Meg, two things. I just learned that you're going to be hosting the community call tonight, and it's a phenomenal topic. So if you'll share about that, and then also what we're thinking about celebration, and even some of the hesitation we've had around that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, tonight I'm just back from vacation, off the cruise boat and jumping in. So tonight the client call at 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be on the effects of alcohol. And we're going to really go into the science of fat burn and how alcohol can make changes to your results. And so Russ McCann and I are going to be co-hosting it. And I think it's going to be really, really good. And I'm excited and a little bit nervous, as always. So that's the client call tonight. And we were brainstorming ways that we could just be celebrating more. And side note, we want to brainstorm with all of us. So if you have ideas of things that we can do as a team to celebrate more, or maybe things we need to start doing or stop doing or whatever, we want it to be something like we can all brainstorm together. Because just like Lori just proved with her great idea about the tree, we have great ideas and you have great ideas, and we want to learn from them. So please share them with us. But one idea that we were having as a way for us to celebrate more is to start celebrating for all of our executive directors each month. And so everybody in the 6K club, everybody in the 8K club, everybody who's getting to executive director by blended path, which is such an incredible way to get to executive director. So we wanted to just kind of share that that's something that we're thinking about, just as a way for us to have more things to celebrate and to really honor you and your commitment and the things that you're doing and how you're growing. And we also just wanted to kind of acknowledge every time we celebrate anything, right? It hopefully has this effect where it gets people more excited, but sometimes it can have the other effect, right? Like sometimes we can get up in our heads and feel like, well, oh no, what if I'm not in that group or, whatever. And so that's our hesitation. Always. And Betsy, if you could mute yourself real quick. But that's always our hesitation anytime we start something new. So we just wanted to be open and upfront that that's something that we were talking about and brainstorming about and worried about, because we always want to honor you and the work that you're doing. So just wanted to give you a heads up that we might be making some changes to that. Dee, I don't know if you wanted to share anything else around that.
No, I think you explained it greatly. I saw some head nodding going on. So I think hopefully you understand where I just muted you, Betsy, no problem. And we also thought so we've got people that are blended path and then 6,000. And then the next goal is 10,000 right now to be in the 10K club is the recognition point. But there's a lot that happens in between there, right? And a lot of us are looking to grow and grow our businesses differently. So we wanted to put kind of an interim step in there as well, because there's a lot that happens. And so you can be in a pattern of regrowth, and it doesn't mean failure. I mean, this is something I want to talk about a little bit is our brain can tell us stories, right, about what's good and what's bad. And all of this is for good, especially if we're growing. So these were our thoughts. Would love if anybody wants some feedback, or if you've had thoughts of other things we could be doing. We could take a minute here just and discuss it if anybody wants to raise their hand or come off mute. Hey, Suzanne, go ahead.
Okay, so literally I tanked, and I can just point the finger at me. I can't point it obviously at any of you because it's work. So I listened to Doug Wood when I was at the conference, and I ordered his book, Church Boy to Millionaire. And the title clearly is misleading, because what he says is live above the line, integrity matters, but in that is intertwined business growth. And I think for me, it takes work, and I put so many other things first. I love my family. I run to everything that they want me to run to. I don't care if it's a soccer game. I don't care if it's, hey, let the kids sleep over. Yeah, no, I want them all. I want them for 6 days. So for me to create the lifestyle that I want for my family in a financial sense, I got to start deciding what I'm going to say no to and what's more important. It's like the stop, choose, and challenge piece. We do that with food, but I got to do that with my agenda. So this week, I'm really focused on that. I'm still reading. I actually ordered the book. I'm listening to it, but there are things I just want to highlight, and just, it's work. And do I want to punch in at the school and work 8 hours a day as a substitute teacher and make hardly anything? It'll all go to gas. Or do I want to do the work now for the life I want to create for my family? That's kind of where I'm at.
Thank you for sharing that. Thanks for your honesty, your transparency, and what a great example, right? Like Optavia, we never want anybody to sacrifice their family, right? We don't want to do this at the expense of other things, but what a perfect description. Do you have to do every single thing, right? So it's trading what we may want to do in a moment for what do we really want, right? So your instinct, your reaction, it's kind of like what we do with our food has been always to the default to what you've always done. The answer is yes. The answer is yes, but it's not leading you to where you want to go. So great recognition of that. And again, it just means that you can be very intentional about your family time and carve out the time for your business so that you can have what you want. So wonderful. All right, Michelle, your hand was raised.
Yeah, thanks, Sue. That was great. I was thinking though about, because we have the 3%, helping clients and the 5%, which I think is awesome. But also I was just thinking about, what if we celebrated the, people who do the most coach explores, or people who do the most celebration calls with their clients, right? And even have some kind of because that really moves our business forward. Utilizing that internal mechanism that we have, which is so beneficial, not only to the client, but to ourselves. In terms of like really getting to know the clients, really being able to pour into them and help them with those transformational steps that maybe they're struggling with and things like that. So that's what I was thinking, because that's a true measure of how we're really doing, as a team, not just as an individual. So I don't know, that was just on my heart.
I like that. I like that. It really is. Somewhere along the way, I think I heard from Terry Miller, it was like reward or recognize the things that move the dial forward, right? And those are processes and procedures that honestly, a lot of times we get too busy for, we don't think that they're necessary, whatever. And recognizing that those are, that those who are following that process, and there's probably a measurable outcome of that as well. So good. Well, we will I'll listen to Rebecca and Vicky before we move on, and take your time. But Rebecca, I wanted to hear from you.
I just kind of wanted to say that one of the things that I've been able to figure out, I've read more books in this year than I probably did in my entire high school career. And I did get The Soul of Money. I just haven't read it yet, but I do plan to read it. And the new Brene Brown book. I don't know when I'm going to read these in the morning. But anyway, the important part of it is that one day I think I woke up, I've been really attaching my success to, am I going to be executive director again? No, I'm not. I must be failing. Am I going to be on this cruise? No, I don't have all the things. I must be failing. If I get another client who wants to sign on right away, no, I'm not. I must be failing. But then, like one morning, I just woke up and realized that when people start coming, and I know they will again. Amy and I have I just scheduled another event that will be for the clients, and I fully intend to talk with them about transition. Like, even if they're not ready to do transition, I want people to understand the whole training wheel thing. So anyway, we've got that coming. I don't care if there's a lot of people or not. What I know is that I can't believe how confident I am in this program and how to teach it and how to communicate it and what it really means. And I did that all in the beginning without knowing anything. So it was like all of a sudden I woke up one day and thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so much better at this the next time people start getting interested again. So I don't know how to celebrate those things, because, and I don't know what that would look like. Maybe it would look like, celebrating, so and so made her first Facebook Live, or so and so did, the individual growth that is teeing people up. Yeah,
I love that.
And Dee,
I hope what it's doing, I want to hear from you, Meg. I hope what it's doing is, did you see that self-recognition in herself? I think at the end of the day, we've got this brain, right? The analytical side of us, the intelligence that's telling us not good enough, must be failing, didn't get there, right? It happens to me as well. But then when you kind of dropped into it and then you were like really thought about it, you're like, I know this program. I know clients are coming. I know I'm going to do a great job. I'm going to provide an event and not even really care how many come, but I think it's important to go ahead and talk about the subject of transition so people know what's coming, right? I'm going to provide value. So what you did is you actually just celebrated yourself as well. And that's one thing we can't miss, you guys, as leaders. The voices here will go crazy. But I like that, Rebecca. And I think if we as mentors know or see something that somebody in our team did, let Meg or I know or whatever, like we can celebrate it. Meg?
Yeah, I was even gonna say, what if we all felt like we could hop on and celebrate the people that we catch being awesome, and we could call it the Coach Catch Awards or the Ketchup Awards or whatever, have a name for it. And that way when you see a coach who's doing something awesome, like Debbie Johnson, who's killing it, like throw some love out there. Like we all need to be seen, and we all need to be loved, and we all can make each other better. So I would even say, what if we all just gave each other permission when we see greatness or goodness or, things, to just catch it and share it and throw some love out there. I think that would be really cool. And I wanted to just circle back. I love the honesty that you shared, Rebecca. And I wanted to circle back to Sue, who started whatever she was saying by like, I tanked. Sue, you didn't tank. You didn't tank. You are Sue. You are incredible. And I don't even know what happened, but maybe some things happened in your business, but that's not who you are. So I just wanted to for any of you that might be going down that thought pattern of like, I tanked or whatever, I'm not where I was. I'm not, maybe we need to reevaluate what a win is. Maybe we need to decide that, hey, a win is one new client this month, or 3 new clients, whatever it is for you, but come up with a win, because you didn't tank. Maybe you had life happen, but what matters most is what happens next. So just wanted to share that.
Love it. Love it. Vicky.
Super fast, but honestly, just kind of piggybacking on what everybody has said. But one of the things that we've been talking about so much is that social media may not be the primary source of business growth at this point for a lot of us. And so kind of changing the mindset. We talked a lot about events or getting out of our comfort zone and doing things like that. And I'm wondering, like at the end of the month, and I love Meg saying, hey, somebody on my team, or I noticed that Julie Walker did XYZ, and, getting on there and applauding her other than just on her post. But I'm wondering at the end of the month where we do the 6,000 club, the 10,000 club, whatever that is, if there could also be a out of the comfort zone club, or somebody who did an event this month or whatever. And without it, there has to be some measurability to it. And there has to be, I also don't want it to be a bookkeeping nightmare for you guys.
But I think that's good, right? Like, again, kind of following on what we said, like rewarding or not rewarding, recognizing the things that we know, right? That we're stepping out of our comfort zone, that we're not doing things that, because it's not easy to change. So we do have something cool we're going to do in a minute. So can't wait to hear from you, Lori, and then we'll move to that.
Hey, just really quick, it just made me think, and something that we do in my other job in recognizing people might be a good idea, is that we do bravos for people. So we have peer-to-peer who nominate each other for a bravo if they notice that somebody did something really good. And then we read them to everybody else at the end of the month. Same kind of thing to recognize, and we even take it another level as nominating somebody to be a rising star. So if somebody really did something that is really over the top, that could also be like a rising star award per se. But the bravos are more, a little comment that so-and-so did this or so-and-so did that. And they're so heartwarming. And it's just so nice to hear what other people are doing to recognize things like that. Might be another way that people could submit that and it could be read.
I like it. Yeah, kind of Lucy had thrown some out from her corporate days. They did the high five award. So high five, bravo. Like, I think that's great. And, I think just like what Meg was saying, I think we do have to recognize these things and celebrate these things, right? Because it is so easy. I love how you recognize what Suzanne said and turned it, Meg, that she wasn't a failure or whatever the word was, right? Like, she didn't tank. She is who she is, but yeah, so that's good. Celebrating the wins. Well, what we're going to do, we haven't done this in a long time. We're going to do breakout rooms. We're going to do groups of 3, but what we want to do is, and Meg and I are going to model this for you, is that you're going to get in your group and we're going to talk about the month of September. And this is why I say permission to feel. So I want you to just be honest and share, like, what's something, like a story you're telling yourself, and something like, what's something you're proud of in your business, and then maybe something you're not so proud of, and what's a story you're telling yourself about it, or a couple of things. And each person is going to do that. And then we're going to circle back around, because we often are our own biggest critic, right? We're the harshest. And like, I could say something about myself and you guys would be like, oh, what? And so what then we're going to do is go back around, and then the other parties, and some of you guys know each other and you don't, but most of us do. And you've kind of observed or whatever, could be specific to that or something, anything. But then what you're going to do is, for the other two people in the group, you're going to say, the greatness I see in you is, and tell them what it is. All right. So, Meg and I are going to volunteer to model this. So Meg, do you want to ask me first? Or do you want me to ask you first about?
Whatever.
All right. Well, why don't you share with us, like, your month of September? What's something you're proud of, maybe not so proud of? What are some stories you've told yourself?
The month of September, I'm proud of adding 5 new clients, because the month before that, I didn't even add 3 new clients. So that felt like a huge win in the right direction. Something I'm not proud of, it has been, and something I'm struggling with, it's been a minute since I've added a coach. And so the story I'm telling myself is that I lost my touch, and I'm just kind of in that rut, in that, circle. So that's me.
All right, cool. We could do it at the end, or I'll do it now, but I would say the greatness I see in you is, number one, the work you've done on yourself, that you can actually be observant to actually say, the story I'm telling myself is, I'm not good enough. Like, there's I think I believe, it's not true. And you actually have the ability, the consciousness to see that. And that might not have been the case when I started working with you several years ago. So what I admire in you is that. I also admire in the greatness in you is the ability to, despite how you're feeling yourself about your business or whatnot, your ability to see the goodness in others and always be able to shine and uplift somebody else.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, Dee. So what is something that you are proud of in the month of September, and something you've been struggling with?
Kind of the same. I mean, and I'm not going to lie, guys, I have been dry when it comes to clients and coaches. So I've told myself all sorts of stories. I was super happy, got 2 new clients this month that came in unique ways, really unique ways. So that was fun. And one was actually just through reputation. She was like, my friend said, if I was going to do Optavia, like, I needed to reach out to you, and that you were the person to be the coach. Right. And this person was not really even a friend of mine. She just knew of me. So that felt good. But then I was super frustrated because I had 2 people on the fence who weren't ready yet. So I didn't get the 3% bonus. Right. So I'm like, oh, I'm the leader, like I should be leading here. Right. So that's the story I tell myself. And same thing without adding coaches. I've also been hard on myself around that, but I know there's a direct correlation to the fact I haven't added a lot of new clients. Right. So you don't have that fresh energy and excitement. But so, excited that we had a new executive director, like beyond excited. And then what my brain said? I remember when we had so many in a month that we had to do a separate call to recognize all the EDs, right? Like, not good enough. Like, it just, the brain. So those are the kinds of stories and things that go through my mind.
Thank you for being brave and sharing that with all of us, Dee. And I just want to speak for everyone and say the greatness we see in you is you are leading. You said you don't feel like the leader because you didn't get 3 clients or whatever, but you are leading in your vulnerability. You are leading and showing up even when the circumstances aren't perfect, and leading with your heart. And that will always be enough for the people on your team and in this group. And we are glad to be led by you. So you are Dee Stinkin' Corchin, not stinking, good, but whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Love
But
that.
you are greatness, and we all believe in you and see so much greatness in you.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you. So we are going to spin out into breakout rooms. I'm hoping that everybody can stay on with your group. We're going to be 3 to 4, just depending on how your room falls. I would say the person with the longest hair, take the lead. And we're going to break for 10 minutes so that we can come back and have 5 to kind of debrief beforehand. So here we go.
So everybody will get about 3 minutes per person. So maybe 2 minutes of sharing and then 1 minute of the greatness. So if you want to set your timers.
Yep, perfect. All right, here we go. And I'm going to pause this recording for these 10 minutes.
I want this.
For anybody that zoomed out or popped out before you heard or whatever, if you didn't get to share the greatness that you saw in your group member, if you will send them a Facebook message or message them now through Zoom or text them or whatever, but just finish that thought and send it to them.
Yes, please, please. So yeah, just a couple of minutes, and maybe somebody who hasn't shared yet today, but what was that experience like for you? Emily.
I just wanted to say that I was thinking that my group was like the best little group, all 4 of us. And then I just scrolled down the page and like every single one of you is just as awesome as the 4 of us that were in my group. And I just wanted you to all know that. I think you're all great. That's all.
Love it. Love it. Who else can share? Lauren.
Yeah, y'all, I'm at swim team, and people in my group know I'm a little distracted with my 3-year-old here. But I just honestly, I think one of my favorite things about our team, and this is, I'm gonna cry, but like, I just love the vulnerability, and I love the ability to show up even when life is hard, and to just share. Oh my gosh, she begged me for Skittles, you guys. So anyway. But just the vulnerability to share, and that, you know, our stories are so similar, the stories that we tell ourselves, and just knowing that we're not alone in a lot of the things that we're feeling, and we are all leaders. And so anyway, I really appreciate leading from the top, Dee and Meg, of just in vulnerability and knowing that we're not alone.
Thank you for sharing that. Awesome. Awesome. Lori Cole.
Hey, my little group, one of the things I was telling them before somehow I got bumped back into the big group, was I love that we held the mirror up for each other, and we're like, that's not your reflection. This is your reflection. And this is what we see. And we were able to go through and kind of pull apart the stories and show them what we saw in the strength. Because sometimes, like with Suzanne, I said, sometimes you have to reel back to gain strength to go forward. It's not that you took a break. It's just that you emotionally needed that 1 second, you know? So that's what I appreciated about that experience, is we were able to pull apart the truths so that we could break down the lies.
So good. So good. We can just tell ourselves, I like what you said, we can drop down to the truth, right? Because we can get so caught up in the transactional side of this and measurements and what we think we should be doing and not enough, and but dropping down into it. So, well, good. Jennifer, would love to hear you share.
Hi, I think one of my observations, first of all, I needed that more than I realized. So thank you to my group and to everybody that shared with one another. I think if we all would listen to what we shared with other people when we're talking to ourselves, we would be so much farther ahead. So maybe when you're starting to hear the noise and the stories, which apparently we all do from time to time, think about what would you tell somebody else in your situation? And I think you'll be a lot gentler and more encouraging. Second thing that came to my mind, Dee, when you just mentioned measurements, sometimes just like we tell a new client, the scale or the size of your clothing should not be the only measurement. It's how you're feeling, the energy. Same thing, like your frontline volume or your rank should not be the only thing we measure. It should also be, what are you accomplishing? What are you learning for yourself? What are you seeing in other people? there's an intangible value there that is very valuable. So don't forget
that
that.
is so true. That is so true. I think that is perfect to wrap it up on. And it just dawned on me, I had actually no intention of this. It dawned on me, like, so we all did that fill your cup? Just like raise a hand. Did that fill your own personal cup? Right. So who else in our world needs that? Right? Like, who else do you, I mean, I don't care if it's the Target cashier, whatever, but like, let's pay this forward. Like, let's be the kind of people that notice and tell other people, the greatness, because our clients, our coaches, they've got all of this noise going on as well. So I think pausing to take notice will do wonders in just immeasurable ways for other people. So, well, very good. Meg, do you have anything else to share as we wrap up? Good to go? All right. Well, you guys, so glad that you were here investing in yourself, and loved this experience with you. We'll see you on Team Time tonight. We've got great topic, couple of great people who are going to share with us, and we'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.